What's up, everybody? This is LennyTV, and I'm here with my boy Shaunie Mack. Man, what's going on?
Good, man. How you?
Good, man. I see you working out here, putting in a lot of work. You got a lot of connections and a lot of things going on.
Yeah, man. Just trying to stay focused, you know. Dream chase.
I feel you. Now, the first thing we're gonna get into, man, is your ties with the training camp. You said so. Just go ahead and talk about that.
Yeah, that's like family. I actually got it tatted right here. Training camp is pretty much an independent music label, you know. They brought me in because I was how can I say it? You know me a little better than a lot of these people know. You know, you see me. We actually kind of grew up together and stuff like that, you know. So like I was a trouble kid, you know. Was in out there doing the dumb stuff, you know, selling drugs and trying to rob this person, rob that person. And then I met a dude who's in training camp named Tony. He actually has a single out right now with O'Malley called "Call Me." You know, he seen the life I was living and stuff like that, and he was like, "Yo, I got a better way for you to live your life." I believe it was junior year at Penn Cater. He came to me and was like, "Yo, like, you still in school now?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm still in school. You know, what's up?" He was like, "Yeah, I got a mixtape out and all that." Because when I first heard of training camp, he used to come to the Y.
Okay. On
the Western Y, on Kirk Highway. So we used to think it was like some workout thing because, you know, it's training camp.
Yeah.
So we used to see him, like, ask him about it. Then he was like, "Nah, it's a label." So right then and there, like, I always had a passion for music. You know, like, I'm talking to him, like, "Yo, like, I'm trying to get down with y'all. He was like, "Yo, you gotta work. Like, we gonna put you in. You know, you gotta play your part." Then he came to me one day, was like, "Yo, I got a bunch of CDs. I'm trying to put them out in the schools." At this point in time, you know, like, I know everybody. You know, like, I'm at Penn Cater. There's a lot of people I know at Penn Cater. AI, all that. Like, so he gave them to me. I'm just going around like, "Yo, here, take this. And after that, you know, we built a relationship, stuff like that. He told me, he was like, "Yo, I want you to get down with me." And that's when I met everybody else at training camp. As soon as he brought me in, you feel me, they opened up to me like family. Like, I talk to everybody every day. You know, shout out to Smack, OT, Matt Hill. Matt Hill's actually from Delaware. He's actually one of the top singers. A lot of people might not know of him because he really, how can I say it? Like, he's more into like the Justin Bieber type thing.
Okay.
Like, he's more for like kids and girls and stuff like that. Like, a lot of people, our ethnicity wouldn't listen to him, but you know, he's doing good for himself. You know, he got over 13,000 followers on Instagram. You know, everybody was just working. You know, like, shout out to all of them.
And going to your the thing you said, would that be considered Delaware? Yeah, that would be considered Delaware talent. So like, you can like, well, I don't know like what it is, but this going to the Delaware talent thing as well.
I would say it's Delaware talent, even though, you know, like, Tone, he's from St. Louis. Smack, he's from Delaware. OT, a couple other people from New York, you know. So it's like, but everybody Tone actually, pretty much the only one. He brought his music, he moved to Delaware.
Gotcha.
And he wants to put on for Delaware. You know, so yeah, I consider him Delaware talent. It's a lot of talent out here. You know, B Miles, Isaiah Lee, motivators, you know, Be Nice. It's a lot of people. My cousin Big Zori, you know, it's a lot of talent out here. The thing with our talent is we really don't have each other's backs. You know, like, we rather, you know, bandwagon other places like Philly and stuff like that. Want to jump on their waves instead of supporting our own. You know, like, I support all of them, you know. Aki Fontaine, B Miles. I kind of met B Miles with my little brother Shaunie. Shaunie Too Nice. Yeah. You know, like, B Miles, he's one of the top in the state. You know, like, his work ethic is crazy. Isaiah Lee, his work ethic, crazy. It's just, we just gotta stick together as a unit. You know, like, help each other out.
Oh shit.
Like, if we all stick together. If Delaware support Delaware, you know, we can make it. Everybody can make it. You know? That's what we gotta do.
Now, and you recently just started a clothing line, right?
Right, Indecent exposure.
Okay. Now, what inspired you to get into the clothing industry, and like, you know, and why were you like, you know what, let me just go ahead and start a clothing line?
Well, I actually got a friend named Anthony. You know, and I know this is gonna sound crazy, but he actually has an aunt. You know, like, that's gifted. And the day she met me, she started telling me things about me that nobody else knew. You know, this is my first time ever meeting her. Mm-hmm. She said, like, all your life, you know, you felt as though you never fit in, you know. So I'm saying, like, who is this lady? Like,
yeah.
Where is she coming from? And then she started breaking stuff down to me, telling me stuff about my past, and it, like, it scared me.
Oh, wow.
Bro, it really scared me.
Mm-hmm.
And the more it scared me, the more I liked it. So it's like, every time I come over, I'll run right to her. Hey, Miss Janae, tell me something about myself. And then she told me, she was like, there's a lot of people in this world that are meant to work 9 to 5s. You are not one of those people. But this whole time, from me knowing her, like, I've had steady jobs and stuff like that. I'm out there grinding, you feel me? Trying to do music and stuff like that, you know, working. So it caught me off guard, and I was like, what you mean by that? She said, you'll one day find a business that you'll love. But there's going to be a situation that happens in your life where you're going to open your eyes, you're going to give your life to God, and it's all going to work out for you. Then, like, 2 weeks later, she comes downstairs. She's like, Anthony, I don't know if it's you, but I see jail bars. I see bars, like jail cells. And she said it again. She's like, I don't know if it's you. I don't know if it's a friend, but I just see a lot of jail cells and stuff like that. I end up getting locked up for a week later.
Wow.
Yeah, did 6 months in Gander Hill. And while I'm in there, you know, like, I'm steady. Everybody telling me, like, yo, like, your mindset as a young man is different from a lot of people of your era, your generation and stuff like that. You know, especially in Delaware. Yeah. Like, your mindset is bigger than just wanting to go out, you know, hang on the block with all the people, you know, mess with this girl, mess with that girl, smoke, this and that. You actually want to grind. And then he was like, yo, like, just make a business. And it's funny because the name Indecent Exposure is actually a charge. It's pretty much being in public, naked, revealed. Yeah. Some guy came in there with that charge. So the name Indecent Exposure just clicked in my head. So at first, it was the way I had it set was it was really a clothing line for women. You know, like, pretty much I was trying to do like the Victoria's Secret pink type thing. You know, like lingerie and stuff like that. You know, because women love to be sexy. You know, like, they love to reveal themselves and stuff like that. Not in a bad way all the time, but, you know, like, they just love feeling sexy and stuff like that. So I felt like, who spends more money at the mall? You know, like, when you go to the mall, you go to the in the mall, you know, women. You see 9 times out of 10 is predominantly females. So, you know, I tried to jump into that lane. It was kind of hard for me to do that because, it's, you know, like, you got a lot of small businesses in Delaware that, you know, make shirts and stuff like that, clothing, but a lot of them aren't making lingerie. So I said, you know what? Yeah, women like to be sexy, but they like to see men with their shirts off and cut up and all that. Yeah. So I said, you know what? I can make this into a bi-gender type thing. You know, like, I can make clothes for men, I can make clothes for women. So I just ran with it. You know, like, I'm actually working with making a couple shirts. I actually have an Instagram for anybody that want to check it out, Indecent Exposure Clothing. Shout out to Turk from Turk Swat Clothing. Oh yeah. He makes my shirts and stuff like that. That's what's up. You know, like, real humble dude. And, you know, like, he told me he was gonna look out for me. You know, I seen the shirt material and stuff like that. It's good. You know, but my purpose on doing this clothing line is to help, you know, the communities, not just Wilmington. At first I want to tackle Delaware. You know, I want to help. I want to get back to Delaware and stuff like that. You know, help get kids off the streets and stuff like that. Try to, like, put together a couple rallies, save money up to put rallies together and stuff like that. Events to get guns off the streets, drugs off the streets. You know, then I want to tackle the tri-state area. Then I want to hit the whole East Coast. Then I want to keep moving over. You know, I just want to help the world. And I feel like that's my calling, like, to help.
So that moment when you met up with the woman who told you about your life and everything, it changed your life?
Yeah, I actually talked to her yesterday. Okay. Well, not yesterday, a couple days ago, and she actually predicted this. Wow. Didn't even talk to her about it. She told me. I heard her upstairs. So I said, "Yo, Aunt, go get your aunt," because I'm going through a lot right now. You know, like, it's personal stuff like that. she comes downstairs. She looked at me. She's like, "You got a lot going on right now." And I'm like, "Oh, here you go." You know. Then she just went into it. You know, just yeah. I see you doing, you know, video shoots and stuff like that. Apparently, from what I'm hearing is that you want, you know, to do music and stuff like that. She told me I was never, like, cause I got this big thing where I wanted to, you know, move to like L.A., New York, somewhere. She told me just get that out of my mind because it's too much temptation for me. She said you'll find a spot, but it won't be one of those big fast cities. She said she seen me doing photo shoots, and she didn't say your name, but she said you'll be doing an interview with a dark skinned dude. I'm like, yeah, I got a video blog with my man Lenny on Saturday. She said, nah, I see you doing more than that. I'm like, yo. Like, and then she went to a lot of other personal things. You know, she told me about the child that I got on the way. You know, and it's just, she told me, like, yo, just the day that you bow, you honestly realize that you need God. And you don't get down on your knees because you want something. When you realize that you actually need Him, you know, everything will fall in place for you. But you have to realize when that is.
And that's pretty motivational too, especially and that's good to have somebody like that in your life too, to just always be there, because it's like it's a nice backbone, and it's a nice ignition, you know, to get your day started.
Right, absolutely.
It's wonderful. Oh, and speaking of, you know, becoming a father, when you first found out that you were about to become a father, like, what was that feeling like?
It's different. It varied because I had a child on the way before.
Okay.
You know, unfortunately, you know, she stillbirthed, stuff like that. That was, at that point in time, like, it was unreal. You know, like, it came out of nowhere. Just, I'm pregnant, and I'm sitting there like, yo, what am I gonna do? You know, at this point in time, I'm working a 9 to 5 at McDonald's. You know, pushing like 90 hours a check, and only seeing like $400 or $500. You know, so like, and at that point in time, like, I left the drugs alone and stuff like that. I left everything alone. I just was going legit. You know, because sick and getting locked up and stuff like that. You know, so I'm shook. Like, like, what am I gonna do? But she ended up stillbirthing on November 17th.
Okay.
Of 2017. Oh no, I'm sorry, 2016.
Oh, you good? I got you.
Then, you know, I was actually, me and her weren't together. I was ended up with another girl, and we didn't even know she was pregnant. She ended up going, you know, we ended up going, taking her to the ER or whatever, because she was having so many pains, like her legs was like numbing out and stuff like that. So they did a ultrasound on her, and at that point in time, once I seen that baby, bro, like, my life flashed in front of me.
Wow.
You know, and it was just like a bunch of joy. You know, so it's like, me personally, like, I feel like I'm ready. Like, this is my motivation. You know, like, it's something that'll keep me on the right path. You know, keep me out the streets. You know, keep me doing something positive. You know, like, that's what I feel like I need to do.
Yeah, I heard it was like, for young men like ourselves, I heard, like, you know, once you realize, you know, that you are about to have a child and everything, and the woman you had a baby with is pregnant, it's like, you can't really describe the feeling, but it makes you want to, like, just go so hard for your child that, like, you can't be stopped.
Yeah, sometimes it's a good thing, then it's a bad thing. You know, like, how can I say it? Like, people like me, like, I know what it's like, you know, to hustle, and I know what it's like to work. You know, so it's like, when I realized I was having a child, I had to make that decision. You know, do I want to keep going down this path and potentially get locked up and they take me from my child, stuff like that, or I can leave it alone, you know, and just do the right thing. Some people never had that working experience. Some people only know drugs, you know. Let me go out here, let me sell this real quick, let me go out here rob somebody. You know, it depends on the person. Me personally, like, it was a tough decision, you know, but the more I prayed on it, the more I see that it was time to leave that alone, you know. So I'm excited, man. You know, like, you gonna do his first interview as soon as you born. Bring here, like, you know, talk to Lenny.
Hey. All right, and so you're with Isaiah Lee and Fly Motivation. Explain what that's like, and explain Isaiah Lee to the people too.
Oh man, that's Lil Man.
Yeah,
that's his name, Captain Lil Man. But nah, seriously, like I knew him before I met Training Camp. You know, like I said, I always had a passion for music, and I actually met him through one of my cousins. And my cousin, Scotty Waters, you know, a lot of people know him as Rock Familia from like promoting parties and stuff like that. It was, he was on the phone when he was like, yo, cuz like, you know, my mans do music. I'll link you in with him. I talked to him one day. Like, you know, we sat and literally talked for like an hour and a half. And he was like, yo, like, I like you, you young, you know, you got ambition, you know, like, that's work. I started off, I wasn't really jumping in the studio at the point in time. You know, I'm just sitting there, just, you know, promoting stuff on Twitter. You know, that's when, around that time, we was in high school, so Twitter was, you know, it was booming.
Mm-hmm.
So, Twitter, Facebook, Fly Motivation, but at that time it wasn't Fly Motivation, it was Young Fly Motivated. So it was YFM this, YFM that. And then, you know, that's when I started running with Training Camp. And I was trying to do both at the time, you know, like, because that was my man's. But I actually have a blood brother, you know, that's in Training Camp. So it's like, I didn't even know it.
Yeah.
So it's like, I jumped into that. And I was trying to balance both, but, you know, Isaiah Lee, at that point in time, he was known as YL.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like, yeah, I understand, you feel me? Like, but it's business, you know, like, I can't really, you know, on a business scale, like, you're always going to be my man's. But at that point in time, like, I can't really deal with you business-wise if you know, two teaming or whatever. And, you know, we just, like, recently, like, we've always been cool. Like, see him at the mall, you know, we talk because, you know, he do his little music thing. He's actually made a nice little amount off of music, you know. Me doing my music thing, I done made connections with certain people and stuff like that, made a couple of dollars. So it's like every time we see each other, we joke like, oh, my royalties better than yours and stuff like that. But Training Camp kind of like fell off of music, not never like completely out the picture, you know, like people were like opening up stores and stuff like that. Like my man OT, he's from Queens, New York. He actually opened up a Guyanese cuisine type store in Flatbush, in Brooklyn. You know, it's called Island Express. Anybody that's ever in that area, go check it out. So, you know, he's worried about his businesses and stuff like that. My man Smack has a clothing line too, but it's a workout thing called Smack Fit. My man Tone, you know, he moved back to St. Louis, but he has a couple like stores and stuff like that. He actually owns Fresh Milk.
Wow.
Fresh Milk DE on Main Street, the street consignment store. Yeah, that's him. He's one of the like 3 owners.
Damn.
You know, putting in work. Like, you know, they putting in work right now, so they kind of putting music on the back burner for right now. You know, just to get their lives situated for, you know, their kids and stuff like that, family. So I was like, I looked at it like, you know, I'm still trying to pursue music, you know. So it's like, you know, I got a man's right here, you know. It's like, I'm gonna run with you, you know. Like we gonna make this work, you know. Like, and I always respected his grind, stuff like that, you know. Like we even talk like I'm always gonna be Training Camp, you know. Like that's something that'll never leave. That's family. But you know, business wise, stuff like that, especially that being my man's too, that being family. I said, yo, since they putting the music down, let's run over here, you know. Let's get this money, you know. Let's do it. Let's actually make it. You know, like I could have like stayed, and I'm not gonna say I was in the shadow because it's a business point of everything, you know. Like at one point in time, OT was the one that was, you know, doing his thing. You know, he had songs. He had actually 2 songs that hit MTV Jams. One song called Bayou, that's just by itself, and then he had another song called Verrazano, which is a New York anthem. Because they're talking about the Verrazano Bridge, the bridge that you pretty much jump on. And that actually had Jim Jones, Fred the Godson, and Mano in it. You know, what was it? The Bayou song, it actually hit like the top 80 on Cyrus Radio or something like that.
Okay,
so
that's doing something. Good. Yeah, that's doing something.
Tone's been the one to actually, you know, do things too. That's good. Like he did a song with O'Malley, and that kind of like really put him out there. He actually was a sleeper on a Double XL. Okay. And you know, like he actually had a song that hit MTV Jams that was called Black Roses, and that was actually shot in Delaware, in Wilmington. You know, So it's like everybody's working. So it's like they were pushing. They felt as though I wasn't ready, which I really wasn't, you know. But I feel like I'm ready now, you know. And since they kind of fell off of it, I'm still gonna pursue my dreams, you know. So got up with my man's. He said, "Yo, let's do it." I'm trying to, you know, work with everybody. I mean, I'm not gonna jump on everybody's team, but you know, like I want to work with like B Miles. You know, I know Briar. Like me and Briar actually went to people know him as Be Nice, but we actually knew each other since 7th grade. You know, so it's like I'm trying to work with them. You know, they run my little brother Shannon, stuff like that. I want to work with my cousin Zori. You know, I just want everybody to make it. You know, just support everybody.
Being around all those people, it's like almost like a nice little wolf pack that just can't be stopped. Like I know that, like, you know, just pushes you to go hard, and no wonder your grind is the way it is, because you're around a lot of successful people that push in work.
And it's funny because me and Isaiah Lee actually had a conversation before I got here, and it's kind of off of, we was talking about the controversy that he had on Twitter.
Yeah.
About, you know, who do you see in this picture, B Miles and Big Zori. The reason why I feel as though people took it to that extent is for the simple fact that a lot of people felt as though they should have been in this picture. But from the information that was told to me, not just by Isaiah Lee, but multiple sources, that you had to get an invite to that. And when he put the picture up, he wasn't about to sit there and look through everybody's, you know, Instagrams, Twitter, or whatever he was on, to put names and stuff like that. He just put the two that he knew off the top of his head. I mean, like me and him just had a conversation, and in my eyes, every one of them they're succeeding in certain categories. Like, the way I look at it, B Miles is the one that, like, when you think of Delaware rap, you think of B Miles. Zori's the one that's, you know, really going like places, like touring and stuff like that, doing tours with people like P&B Rob and etc. Be Nice, he's the one that's killing it on, like, with video. I mean, B Miles is too, but Be Nice is the one that's, you know, like, videos, stay pushing videos, freestyle, SoundCloud, stuff like that. He's heavy on social media. Isaiah, he's the one that's doing the most college tours, period. You know, like, he has a grind effort. I mean, he has a grind that's like no other. Like, he's out here doing a lot of shows, like, where he's not even getting paid. Like, he's paying to get on shows. Like, look, listen, I just need the exposure. Like, put me here, put me here, put me here. Any chance that somebody hits his phone for it, he's jumping, he's putting it right there. If he could, he'll probably hit 3 cities in one day if he could.
For real.
You know? Like, but they're all talented people. You know, they all can grind and stuff like that. They all got the potential to be the next Drake or Tory Lanez or somebody like that. You know, like, they all do.
And explain to the people what your role is in the music industry. Are you the rap sing? Do you control what's going on in the industry? Like,
I do a little bit of it all. You know, like, me personally, like, I felt like I started rapping 7th grade, Skyline. You know, like, and it was just, you know, it was something I was like, yo, you know what? I could do this, but I'm not gonna put all my eggs in one basket. You know, I'm not gonna just pursue this. My cousins and them started making beats, so I jumped in that wave. Kind of finessed it a little bit, but, you know, there's always room for improvement, stuff like that. And then I know the business side of it just from, you know, being around Tone, Smack, and them from training camp. But the one that really opened my mind up the business side of it was OT. I went up there, checked the store out, because everybody was at the grand opening and stuff like that. I wasn't there because, you know, I had personal things going on. So I actually got to, you know, like, catch up with him and stuff like that. He actually showed me, like, a lot of things, like, yo, like, all you got to do is for real just push your music, like. But one thing that he taught me is, like, when it comes to, like, business and stuff like that, which the reason why I really roll with Isaiah Lee the way we do, besides us being boys and stuff like that, he understands the game too. Like, we actually had this same conversation. Like, you gotta understand, like, when it comes to business, you can't just try to push your whole team at one point in time. say for example, since I'm running with Five Motivation right now, Isaiah's the one that has the most exposure. So right now it's his time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of groups don't get that. Everybody want to push at the same time, and that's why a lot of people fail. Like if you actually look at like the industry, you know, with the ASAP, what are they, ASAP Mob or something like that, ASAP Rocky and them.
Oh, yeah, I know ASAP Rocky and them. His group is ASAP Mob.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're all ASAP.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot what ASAP stand for them, but it was like a catchy acronym. But it started off with ASAP Rocky. You know, he pushed his thing, and then once he became hot, you know, everybody knows him.
Yeah.
Here come the rest of the ASAP Mob. You know.
Yeah.
Chief Keef, Chicago. Chief Keef started it all, and then here come Lil Reese, Lil Durk, everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like it's the same thing. Like with us, like right now, we gonna push the hell out of Isaiah Lee right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because he's the one that's got the most buzz and stuff like that. And then when everybody else feels like they're ready and he's doing his thing, you know, come on in. You know, like it's a lot more. It's more toward. I'm sorry.
You good? I got you.
It's more to it than just going in the studio making a song. If you got buzz like that, you know, like a lot of people's gonna listen to you, especially the people that know you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just in New York, like, cause like everybody know me, know what's up with me in New York.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like everybody knows that. Like I'm in Brooklyn. Matter of fact, I just left OT, you know, and heading back, we just went to like Manhattan just to, you know, do a little shopping and stuff like that. I'm with my the guy Stephen Clark that I worked with. You know, he's like a father figure to me. So, you know, we just walking around Times Square and stuff like that. I'm actually looking for the Ripley's, the wax museum, because all my life, you know, being in and out of New York and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
I've never been to the Ripley's wax museum. So I'm like, yo, where's it at? I'm trying to find it. And I bumped into him. And it was on when you in New York,
Mm-hmm.
or ever like been around like New York people, like if you bump somebody, like you usually keep it moving. But you know, for me growing up down here and stuff like that, it's like it flicks on and off. You know, like I'm used to being down here, like you bump somebody, it's my bad or whatever. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
But I wasn't in my New York bag at the time. You know, like I'm not just bumping, keep it moving.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting on my Delaware stage. I'm bumping. I'm like, yo, what's up with you? He turned around, like his bodyguards with him. But I'm talking, you know, I'm not really peeping them. But Jewels, my 3 top favorite rappers of all time: Tupac, Fab, and Jewels.
Mm-hmm.
You know, none of like I seen him, and then it was just like, oh, my fault, Jewels. I'm sorry. I'm like, yo, you Jewels. Like I got starstruck. Like, I'm like, yo, like Jewels, whoa, like, I'm hyped. And then he was like, you good. And I'm like, yo, you the man, you know, I'm boosting him and stuff like that. Like, I'm like, yo, like, you Jewels.
Mm-hmm.
Then he got to talking to me. He was like, yo, who you? And I told him who I was and stuff like that. And we actually talked for like 10, 15 minutes.
Wow.
He was like, I told him the things that I want to do. I told him about training camp and stuff like that. I told him about them doing the song with Jimmy Blanco, that's Jim Jones, but that's what they call him. You know, that's his little stage name and stuff like that. And he was like, he knew a little bit of it, you know. He was like, oh, yeah, OT and them, stuff like that. So I'm like, yeah, that's them. And he's just like, yo, like, if you serious about music, you know, like, you know where to find me. He showed me, like, little areas that he be in and stuff like that, music-wise. You know, try to get in contact with certain people to get in contact with him. You know, like, he ain't just dropped his number or nothing like that. But it was just... It was like a great experience for me, because it's like I actually sat there and rapped for him, stuff like that. And he kept it honest with me. He said, yo, like, you got a lot of potential. I mean, but one thing that he did prove, he broke down to me, like, because the way I rap was the way I was living at the time. You know, like, I didn't learn to be versatile until recently, like, where I could actually talk about, you know, going to a club, meeting a girl and stuff like that. It was just all, yeah, you feel me? I got this much money. I got it off of doing this and stuff like that. He told me, he said, yo, like, that's hot. But at the same time, if you try to make an album, you can't just talk about that, you know? And, like, those words actually stuck in my head. It probably gonna stick in my head for the rest of my life, for you know? Like, but then, On top of that, you know, I know a couple people. Like, I met a lot. Like, who else? Because I actually met somebody through my grandmother. Because the dude she date, he from Bed-Stuy. He's one of them old rappers. What is his name? It's an old New York rapper. I'm gonna get my next interview. I'm gonna have that for you.
Okay, cool.
But he was a mellow dude, you know, was just giving me a little advice and all that. Because the guy that my grandmother dates or whatever, you know, he went to school with Biggie and them, Busta Rhymes and all of them. So it's like he's telling me like pretty much like, yo, like I know a lot of industry people and stuff like that. So he's trying to push me in that direction. But my thing is, I'm not really trying to push. I'm pushing music, but I'm worried about my project. I'm trying to get my clothing line there too. At the same time, I'm trying to get the music thing right. I'm trying to keep them balanced. But at this point in time, I'm just trying, you know, build my line, you know, build my project and try to make it as great as possible.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, like we just out here working, man. Just like you. Know, like,
hey, Delaware, we trying to do our thing, man.
Yeah, I seen the vlogs and all that. Everybody was like, yeah, I'm going to Lenny videos. Like, when Lenny start doing this? Yeah. Then I seen Gene got his
definitely,
Gene got visuals. Shout out to him too, you know.
Real stuff, yeah. I like people that can do the music video thing, and that's the lane like I don't interfere with. I just let people know. I say, hey, nah, I'm the Vlad TV of Delaware, yo. I just do the interview. Right. I ain't shooting no music videos.
Cause we really don't got one down here.
For real, man.
So it's like that's good, you know. Like you in your own lane, you know. Like you can really be successful, and I know you. For me, you one of the smartest dudes I know.
Thanks, man.
You know, like if I could put all my eggs in one basket, I know you gonna make it. Your grind is like no other too.
And then before we close out, would you like to give any advice to the youngins out here that's probably like in the trenches and struggling, like they probably selling drugs and they probably think that's the only way they can make it? Like, just go ahead and give advice to them.
Man. It always gets better. You know, no matter what your religion is, Christian, Muslim, Judas, Buddhist, just keep your faith. You know, try to be better than you were the day before. You know, and everything will work out for you. I know how it is, you know, want to have fun, smoke. For the dudes, you want to smoke, hang with the girls, you know, I know how that go. But just stay focused, you know. Education is key. You know, that's something that I wish that I took more serious. Because ask Lenny, I used to crack Lenny in football, you feel me? I could have been somebody, you know. I could have been next to Miss Smith if I wanted to. But yeah, shout out to Coach Matthews and Coach Haney. You know, two of the greatest coaches I've ever played for. Yeah, man, just stay focused. You stay focused, everything will come. And this is tough. This is coming from somebody that hit rock bottom several times. Just, and you, if you want, you can ask. Next time anybody ever run into Lenny on the streets, Lenny will tell you, man. I used to play football. Like, we all grew up playing football together. From 3rd grade to 8th grade, I would play games, football games. Play the whole. Nah, I'm not gonna lie. I played offense the whole game. These starting running back, jersey, uniform, clean as a whistle. 4 touchdowns a game. I'm talking about I'm running like 60, 70-yard touchdowns at a time. Got to high school, felt like, because a lot of people, and this is crazy, because a lot of people was passing me just because I could play football. You know, I got to high school, Coach Matthews and Coach Haney wasn't playing that. You know, like, if you going to play for us, you got to be smart too. You got to be a student and an athlete at the same time. And it was something new to me. So I gave up on that. And I hit rock bottom. Really didn't really finish school the way I was supposed to. I ended up, you know, I'm actually finishing a lot of stuff up now. You feel me? Like, and that's one thing I want, you know, younger people to know, like, it's never too late for greatness. Just because you got a rocky start at first doesn't mean that it's over for you. You know, I'm 23, and I'm fixing my mistakes, you know, so I can be great. So I can be the best father that I can be to my child and potential children, you know. So I can give my family a better life than I had, you know. And I know a lot of people, feel as though like they don't really have support growing up and stuff like that. I'm gonna let y'all know this now. My dad has 16 boys, 2 girls. You know, I seen my father when I was 3. Didn't see him again until I was in 3rd grade. And then after that, I didn't see him until I was 17. Or actually, I didn't even see him. I just had a phone call. And didn't talk to him again until I was like 19, 20. You know, we're building a bond right now for the simple fact that, you know, I'm working on forgiveness. You know, like, you can't make it nowhere without forgiveness. And it's making me a better person because it's like, I know what it's like to not have. You know, so it's like, I see where I could learn from that when it comes to my child. You know, like for the guys up there that people that got kids young, just stay focused, take care of your kids, and everything will come. You know, you never know, your child could be the next great thing.